Yeah, I know that I promised not to make any speaking sessions on Sundays, let alone making video shoots with my beautiful face here, but who cares actually? I felt kind of I wanted to speak and I still want to speak in English, sorry, and I kind of want to speak out thoroughly and to spill something not point oriented on you as always, as I regularly do, and that's just how I feel inside. I don't know, maybe I've kind of passed the point there I felt kind of that switch inside me that allows me to make my ramblings regardless of the language where I'm about to speak in, and kind of that don't complicate anything inside me when I switch between languages, let alone saying that I don't do such a ramblings in my own native language. Let's say I'm more kind of more tend to do that in English than I thoroughly do that in English. I should say, I must confess that I very rarely, if ever, I could do the same in my native language, and I kind of switching paces here and switching kinds of words being used, you know what I'm saying? That's for a certain purpose, to just drill my pronunciation skills, just to bring my speaking abilities to the higher points where they could be and or should be, I should say, and I'm on it because I've never been to United States of America and I've never been to any English speaking countries ever in my life. I should confess this fact, and regarding this I must say that I'm just doing my practice. I figured out this way of learning by myself, and I'm on it right now, and I'm won't be quitting any ways of doing my speaking English related sessions here if I don't die. I hope I won't, because I want to live a happy life as I reported you lately, and I will, and we'll see how it goes with it, but that's kind of like separate point that I wouldn't dive in this particular video shoot of tonight. But the point I want to bring you for today, maybe that's my reading skills, and just I'm about to bring myself some nicest book, and as I worked on that like later on, let's say, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, I've been on it. I've been just kind of mutually practicing my interpret skills, and I'm still on it, but I skip several sessions in a row because of not finding the right colleagues to practice with, you know what I'm saying? And as I told you just right now, maybe I'm about to bring this nicest book into the poll, into the point of today's consideration. I'm gonna read it, and after completing this rambling session, I'll be perusing the stuff I made in order to clarify the mistakes I made, in order to clear up all the hidden points that I wouldn't be introducing in this particular video shoot, because maybe of their not familiarity, or maybe of their just being complicated to me in a way that I would never just solve by myself. We'll see how it goes, and I'm pretty sure I'll clarify all the hidden points by myself, and I'm be revealing as practical practice tenses and voice as I ever could even reveal to you now, and we'll see how it goes. I know I do a lot of mistakes here, and without mistakes I can't move forward, and we'll see how it goes. I have to sip some water here, please forgive me. Give me a couple seconds here, I'll be back very soon. So I've just picked up the random page in the not very random book that I adore. This book, see this one over here, people's best friends, like annual reading or whatever it would be called. It's called, I should say, and it's not the point. Okay. When Poppy knocked at the door to negotiate terms of the straw planting, everything began to go wrong. My mother, sisters, and Abby were busy on an urgent order to pillow lace that evening. They were perched on the high-backed wooden chairs, all wearing white, starched cotton pennies to keep the delicate work clean. As I ushered Pony into the parlor, they looked up. They beaded bobbins and busy tongues stilled as they stared wide-eyed at the glowing creature in her swirling gown of bright red silk. So many unfamiliar words. I would say around, I don't know, maybe 40%. But who said it would be easy? Right, let's get going. As I urged Pony into the parlor, they looked up. I've done it already. Let's move on down here. I was furious that mother didn't let me listen to the negotiations. I was stamping about and rattling chokerly in the kitchen where I'd been sent to make tea when George returned from work. Hissing like the steaming kettle, I explained what was going on. George offered to help to take the loaded tea tray into the parlor. "You're just being noisy," I teased. I was glad I was carrying the tray with the best tea set. George had the cake and nearly dropped it when I saw Poppy. He stood here, mouth open, the plate tilting until May snatched it from him. As Ma made the introductions, George and Poppy stared at each other. Eva, usually slow on the uptake, realized that other woman was a rival. She jumped up to hang on George's arm possessively. Over tea, Poppy explained she had been planning to convert a knowledge shed at the rear of her shop into a straw-plaiting work shed. My visit, she told me with a warm smile, had come just as she'd saved the necessary money. She'd asked a reliable local builder to undertake the conversion, and when it had been completed, she hoped to employ all my sisters. She'd undertake various types of straw plaiting at first, and then those who showed an aptitude would make up the heads. Oh my god, it's so complicated. It's like, I don't know, it's most harsh piece I ever read. I ever read, I should say. It's most harsh. I'm not exaggerating here. It's being harsh because it's written in so unfamiliar terms, and I should say pieces of words I've never practiced previously, and that made my speech complete unfluent, I should say. And forgive me if I made a lot of mistakes here, and I don't look for easy ways in my lives, and I'll be also doing that way because I want to extend my physical abilities, extend my whatever mental abilities and physical skills on being pronouncing words in the right way to the heights I've never been previously. You know what I'm saying? And that's my style of learning, my complete point of being here, maybe, where I don't feel like I possess a second language anymore. English became kind of part of me, and it resides within me. It just makes my full soul being contented and being just full of gratefulness for being immersed purely into this good and in-depth version of English language that I learned these days. You know what I'm saying? And let's do some other pieces of poetry here and see how I'm bad about that. Let's see how it goes. My sisters thoroughly enjoyed their newfound freedom. Poppy encouraged them to model her hats, and for the first time in their lives, they attended chapel socials, concerts, and plays, and even dances at the down hall. There was also a change in my brother. From the first time she'd started into Poppy's violet eyes, he seemed to grow from a gangling youth into a handsome man. He was suddenly taller, broader, more mature and confident. There was a jut to his chin, a twinkle in his dark brown eyes, a swagger in his walk. My mother had introduced him to Pop and George. To our surprise, she smiled, straightened his shoulders, and confessed that his first name was Basil. The family called George, he said, but his friends had nicknamed him Baz. We all gaped, open-mouthed. He hadn't known that. From the day everyone started calling him Baz except Evie, and she stubbornly refused to work for Poppy, implying with a sneer that she preferred a more gentle occupation than working in a factory. But she would continue with the face-making order. But she would continue with the lace-making orders, she said. My mother, stunned by Poppy's takeover, was delighted to have someone to gossip with. That's fucking enough for tonight, and that's been extremely fucking... Oh, it's not been easy to me, I should say, and that's how I learn, that's how I feel my English, and this attempt of trying to make fluent English pieces here, disregarding my sore throat. I'm not disregarding my sore throat, I've been soothing it with the lozenges for maybe 4 days in a row, and I'm soothing it with the hot water here, and I'm about to maybe buy a new lozenge to soothe my throat, my sore throat I should say, and that's barely could be related to not making any English sessions that I tend to do, and that's for continuing my English learning process. I've been asked recently about what level of English I have, I should say, and I can estimate and evaluate it by myself. It makes no different things to me what level of English do I have right now. The main thing, I can say what I want, I can express whatever things I want to express, I can interpret, I kind of do this stuff on a regular basis, and that's been my not so fluent speech as it could be of today, and just to do your own, see what happens with them, and everything's gonna be lit with that. I promise to definitely be that way that I've reported you just right now. I'm gonna maybe wrap this session up in order not to rant for too long, because my throat just begins to hurt me like slightly, but I don't want to stress that process to high points, you know what I'm saying? That's been my practice of today. Be good and elite and be healthy and wealthy and so on. And I'll be with you as soon as I can. See you all until a while. Thanks for your presence on my channel. See you all in a little while. See you soon. Bye.